Oliver said that, well, one thing that was a bit of a low point, that was being called sexist in the media, in the British media. We have done an interview before. It was really a fresh interview, and if I see the two of you now, you are more aware of things that can happen to you media-wise. Is it true, or do I don't have a good feeling?
It's very fair. We got severely stung by a certain interview we did in England. I think it was a bit unfair of the journalist to A, kind of catch us after a big gig where we were on a high, B, kind of drink with us for most of the day and like pretend to be our almost mate, and then C, conduct an interview where we totally had our guard down and he asked a few leading questions, and we can't retract anything we said, but we can only stick up for ourselves in hindsight and say, we're definitely not a sexist band. If anything, I hold women in a higher regard than I do men. I was brought up by my mum, my auntie, and I've got two sisters, so I was brought up in a family of women, and I don't think they did too bad a job. So it hurts quite a lot to be called sexist, especially when we were still in that period of running out every week and buying certain magazines to see if they'd written about us, and our parents were even doing the same. So it cut quite deep, and we never denied any of the things that were written, because I think it was just we were being a little bit flippant and irresponsible and often sarcastic in the interview, and it didn't come across properly. So I think we've just become a bit more media savvy, or I hope we have. But at the same time, we don't want to be too closed in interviews, because interviews are the very rare opportunity fans get to see an insight into the band. So we want to give fans a level of access and kind of information about us, but at the same time we don't want to lead ourselves down a garden path where it's going to come back and haunt us.
Yeah, and maybe display your personal life to a level that you don't want to.
Yeah, possibly.
Well, I can imagine. Yeah. Let me see the music. If you have to compare for you Emergency to the first album, have you had a chance to listen to the albums? Did you listen to them after each other?
I can't say I've listened to Wait For Me for quite a long time now.
But what is your feeling then about the music? What are your thoughts on it if you compare those two albums? What is for you?
I think the second album is a little bit more thought out. I think the second album's written by a band that's got more experience of playing music, writing music and appreciating music. I think the arrangements on it are a little bit cleverer, but at the same time they're not trying to be clever for clever's sake. We're not an angular arty band. We still write pop music, and there's still a certain kind of formula to follow for that, but we have tried to test ourselves a little bit on the second one.
And how?
There's not just verse, chorus, song, end songs on there. We've tried to write middle eights. We've tried to drop out guitars and leave space in the song where normally we'd have, just hit a distortion pedal and tried to play as many guitars as possible. So we learn, or we think we learn, that not putting a guitar in and leaving, maybe just one guitar playing can have as dramatic effect as all playing the guitars at the same time.